Disney The Lion King set 43243. Obviously Simba. This is the smaller version of the gigantic beautiful set. 200 and something parts, I think. 83 lots anyway. We'll get to that. Couple of printed tile pieces which will be interesting. As you can see, an awful lot of bright light orange, I'm going to guess. A lavenderish looking croissant, and what else can we see? Yeah, there's the eye printed tiles, the ear printed tiles. There's a brown flame piece. Could be some interesting parts. Definitely some variety in there in terms of the build. A lot of tiles and things like that, but it's going to be interesting. So let's get it parted out and see what it's looking like. Okay, so we're parting out 4 of these. No exciting character on the timeline, just a dot, and plenty of parts. 83 lots, as I've said. A lot of bright light orange and things, so we'll just walk through it. Plates kicking us off, 4x4s, 2x4s, some of those kind of curved slope things, some more curved slopes, some triangular tiles, 2x1 tiles, standard plates, some of those with the 2 studs, some yellow brackets, imagine those would be pretty good. A ball joint in dark brown, 2x3 brick reddish brown, 2x6 reddish brown, into some tan parts, some more plates, a hinge joint, don't know, Technic brick, some of those kind of half brick size with the ribbed edges, some of those tiles with studs on the underside, some inverted slopes. The ear printed discs, very nice, they're 3x3s, 2x2 sloped curves with printed eyes, those kind of angled quarter tile, brick type things, some inverted slopes, some more, whatever these are, a few more curved slopes. This is a new part on me. It's kind of like almost like a wheel axle or something, I think. Some car bonnets, some of those corner tiles, parts of the tail and the other end of that tail, more usually seen in reddish brown, aren't they? Some cheese slopes, the obligatory filler bright light pink block into some orange plates, bricks with studs on one side, some 2x3 plates, 2x2s, those things, never know what they are, I think they're a plate modified. Some tan half tiles, again, not see those very often. Some of those kind of icicle things, quarter tiles, some brackets, dark brown alternate side of that ball joint, some clips with it, horizontal clip, cones, those open stud circular plates, some reddish brown tiles, some of those, medium nugget, nougat, depending where you are. Those flames in reddish brown that I mentioned from the box, some pins, some brackets, back into the bright light orange with some plates, some of those oval tiles, some slopes, some of those things. Those kind of, they're usually more in dark brown and black, dark blue, grey, black kind of parts, aren't they? Some of those inverted tiles with studs underneath in bright light orange. And on it goes in the bright light orange. Some 2x1 slopes, some more plates. Dark orange, couple of parts there. Those in orange. A whole bunch of 1x1 plates. Some clips. Those tiles that are like a loaf of bread. Obviously we're doing 4 here, so you would get 1 in magenta. Those things. Hot dog sausages in, that could be medium nugget, not sure. Some cherries in lime, some brackets in lime, some plates, circular plates in green, dark green clips, jumper plates, and tiles with the angled on both ways. And then there are those, I think that might be light, that might just be straight lavender or maybe medium lavender, no, need to check. And then a whole bunch of ladybirds make up all of the parts as a siren wails past. So let's get that into Brickstore and have a look at the part out value. Set number 43243, Simba the Lion King from Disney, retailing at $29.99 direct from lego.com. Although I have to say, currently Amazon, Big W and Kmart all selling it for $22, and I think Big W had it a little bit cheaper than that when I purchased those sets, but let's say it was $22. That's probably a good start as any. In terms of the 6 months average, it's going at $60, so a fair old return, tipping about the 3 times, getting there almost, and the current inventory average is sitting at 61.37, which again is a fair old whack. The current availability, it's cheaper on Bricklink than it is on Lego. You can get one at $24.50 and the 7 available at $24.99. Meanwhile, over on eBay, the usual mixed bag. Pretty much none of these underpriced once you add postage to them. 30, upwards of $39.88 there. Someone going for $50 over there. Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me, but I guess not everyone has access to stores and things like that, so there's often a reason behind that. So let's just take a look at the actual the Brickstore file. 85 lots, 235 parts. As we saw, printed parts in there as well, an awful lot of bright light orange and other things, a good mix of things, some interesting ones. Not entirely sure where the value is going to come from this, but obviously there's a fair bit of value in there. A lavender croissant is probably going to be quite interesting. So let's take a look at the 6 month average on this one and see where the value is coming in at that. A few of those have been skipped, pretty much because it's a new set, so there isn't an awful lot of data available. The 2 instructions, the 2 printed eye pieces, and the dinosaur tail. So they're the 4 pieces that there is no sales history of. Bricklink is currently in maintenance, so we can't go back to our price guide, which isn't helpful. Perfect timing by me, but it was about $60, wasn't it? This one's coming in at $63.64, so an interesting jump, but equally those parts are going to give it a bit of a bump up because they're all new. That tile inverted is the big piece of value there, isn't it? Coming in at $3.27 per item, followed by this plate modified with a bar on the bottom. Not a piece I've seen an awful lot on, at $2.22 each. Those kind of poor tiles at $2. The bright light orange dinosaur tail, high value, as is the reddish brown minifigure plume. Not to be surprised at that one. I was right on the lavender, that's $1.54, pretty high value. And then we're into kind of the tile triangles, those sloped curves, some dark, oh, it's tan, not, it looks dark tan on screen to me. The tan half tile and the plates, and then we drop pretty quickly, don't we, into the 40s and stuff like that. The hot dogs in at 40, 31s, yeah, pretty go. The cherries in lime, 15. So yeah, it's a fairly substantial. Obviously, we've got no price data on any of those pieces, but decent price pieces, decent colours. Definitely going to add a little bit of variety to the store, especially mine, given there's quite a lot of Star Wars bias to the inventory that I have in stock. So let's have a look at that for the current inventory average. And that is pretty much where it jumps up. Let's resort that by price and see where those printed tiles come in. Well, got it the wrong way up. There we go. Oh yeah, they jump fairly up the way, but certainly not to the top. Those tile modified inverteds jump up to $5.46. Now I would say that has been skewed by somebody, and if Bricklink wasn't down at this very moment, I would check that. So maybe we'll just take a pause and then check that once it's back online. Okay, so yeah, and it's not even me that's the one making the pricing crazy. Store there with them at 11.74, which is what's driving that price up, and interestingly, non-sold. Over in the US, slightly more realistic prices, probably, what's that work out as? $4 something. So interesting. So what else have we got? Instructions doesn't really change. Nothing really changes after that majorly. Obviously, we add in a little bit of value for these. The part out value jumps up to 85.47, so a little bit higher than the current items for sale average, but yeah, kind of the odd piece like this is probably what's creating that increased value. For instance, let's have a look at this printed tile. Let's see if there's an awful lot of those on the market currently and whether or not they are creating sales. So no, they're all fairly evenly priced, which is good to know, really, isn't it? Kind of there's not a lot of them on the market, but yeah, there you have it, really. Kind of an interesting set in terms of the variety of parts. Good colours, interesting colours, things that you probably don't have in stock. Not an awful lot of new parts, obviously, those printed tiles and the dinosaur tail. The plume and the lavender croissant, clearly an interesting part. But other than that, I felt it was good parts with a strong part out value. Probably a set that will do well as an investment as well over time. So if you're going to grab a couple of copies at $22 and hold on to them, you're probably going to do well by the time it retires. Given that there's that larger version as well, the pair of them are probably going to do well over the long term. But there are some good parts in here, so one well worth parting out in my mind.